The Battle of Marengo, Napoleon's daring victory that changed history. Introduction, the clash that shaped an empire. In the sweltering heat of June 14, 1800, near the small town of Marengo in northern Italy, one of history's most dramatic and consequential battles unfolded. On one side stood Napoleon Bonaparte, recently returned to power as first consul of France, determined to secure his political future and reassert French dominance in Europe. On the other side, the seasoned Austrian forces under General Michael von Melas aimed to break French control over Italy once and for all. The Battle of Marengo was not just a military confrontation, it was a test of leadership, strategy, and resilience that would set the tone for Napoleon's meteoric rise in the years to come. In this video, we'll dive deep into the lead-up, the battle itself, and the long-lasting impact of this pivotal clash. The road to Marengo, Napoleon's bold gamble. By early 1800, the French Revolutionary Wars had left much of Europe in chaos. The Austrians, determined to expel French forces from Italy, had achieved significant successes. Meanwhile, Napoleon seized power in France in a coup d'état in November 1799, becoming first consul. His political position was still precarious, and he needed a major military victory to legitimize his rule. With astonishing speed, Napoleon led the French army of the reserve across the perilous Great St. Bernard Pass in May 1800, taking the Austrians by surprise. This daring Alpine crossing was a logistical feat and a testament to Napoleon's audacity. His arrival in Italy forced the Austrian army under General Melas to reconsider their position. But Melas, with over 30,000 men, was determined to confront the French before they could consolidate their forces. The battlefield, geography and strategy. The plains around Marengo, located just southeast of Alessandria in the Piedmont region, provided a deceptively simple battlefield. Crisscrossed by streams, vineyards, and hamlets, the terrain offered both opportunities and obstacles. Napoleon, believing Melas would retreat toward the east, positioned his troops defensively but left his right flank relatively exposed. He commanded approximately 28,000 troops, while Melas fielded over 31,000, including a substantial cavalry force. The French camped near the Fontenone stream, while the Austrians massed west of Alessandria, poised for an offensive. Both commanders understood the stakes, control of northern Italy, and, for Napoleon, the political survival of his regime. Morning assault. The Austrians strike first. At dawn on June 14th, the Austrian army launched a surprise offensive. Advancing under the cover of fog, Melas sent 3 columns across the Bormida River. The French outposts near Marengo were caught off guard, and fierce fighting erupted almost immediately. French General Victor's corps bore the brunt of the initial assault. Despite putting up a stubborn resistance, the French lines began to buckle under the weight of superior Austrian numbers. By mid-morning, the Austrians had captured the village of Marengo itself, forcing the French to retreat further east. Napoleon, who had underestimated the likelihood of a direct Austrian attack, was now scrambling to stabilize his collapsing front. Napoleon's crisis, a battle on the brink. By early afternoon, the situation for Napoleon was dire. His troops were exhausted, disorganized, and steadily falling back toward the village of San Giuliano. General Melas, convinced of imminent victory, ordered his subordinates to press the attack, while he himself retired to Alessandria to draft reports announcing his triumph. But Napoleon, displaying his characteristic composure under pressure, refused to concede defeat. He quickly dispatched orders to summon reinforcements from General Louis Desire, who had been stationed further to the south. Meanwhile, Napoleon orchestrated a defensive stand, using artillery and the remnants of his infantry to slow the Austrian advance. Time was running out, but the French needed only a spark to turn the tide. The turning point, Desire and the counterattack. Around 5 p.m., as the Austrian forces were becoming overextended and disorganized in their pursuit, General Desire arrived with fresh French troops. Desire immediately assessed the situation and proposed an aggressive counterattack. Napoleon agreed, recognizing that this was their last chance. As Desire led his men forward, a well-coordinated French artillery barrage devastated the advancing Austrians. Tragically, Desire was struck down by an Austrian musket ball early in the charge, but his men, inspired by his bravery, pressed on with ferocity. General François Kellerman, commanding the French cavalry, seized the moment and launched a devastating flanking maneuver. His charge shattered the Austrian centre, sowing panic and confusion among their ranks. The Austrian collapse from victory to rout, 19th century, the sudden and ferocious French counteroffensive completely unhinged the Austrian army. Their soldiers, having believed the battle already won, were ill prepared for the renewed French assault. The retreat quickly devolved into a rout as French cavalry and infantry pressed their advantage relentlessly. General Melas, still in Alessandria and unaware of the dramatic reversal, had to hastily organize his remaining forces to cover the retreat. By nightfall, the battlefield belonged to the French. Napoleon, who only hours earlier had faced annihilation, now stood victorious. The French captured thousands of Austrian prisoners and a significant cache of artillery and supplies. Aftermath: the Treaty of Alessandria and Napoleon's ascendancy. The consequences of the Battle of Marengo were immediate and far-reaching. On June 15th, General Melas agreed to the Convention of Alessandria, effectively surrendering control of northern Italy to the French. The Austrians were forced to withdraw beyond the Mincio River, leaving Napoleon's forces dominant in the region. For Napoleon, Marengo was not merely a military victory, it was a political triumph that solidified his rule as first consul and paved the way for his eventual coronation as emperor in 1804. The battle also elevated Napoleon's reputation as a master strategist capable of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. For Europe, Marengo signaled that the French Republic under Napoleon's leadership remained a formidable power. Legacy: Marengo's place in military history. The Battle of Marengo is studied today as a classic example of operational flexibility and the importance of leadership in warfare. Napoleon's ability to adapt to a rapidly deteriorating situation, combined with timely reinforcements and bold counterattacks, transformed what could have been a catastrophic defeat into a stunning victory. The battle also underscored the dangers of overconfidence, as exemplified by General Melas's premature assumptions of success. In French military law, Marengo became a symbol of Napoleon's genius and resilience. Even in popular culture, the battle left its mark. Legend has it that Napoleon's horse was named Marengo in honor of this victory, further enshrining the battle's mythos. Key lessons: leadership, timing, and adaptability. Several enduring lessons emerge from the Battle of Marengo. First, leadership under pressure is crucial. Napoleon's refusal to panic, even when facing near defeat, contrasts sharply with Melas's premature withdrawal from the field. Second, timing is everything in warfare. The arrival of Desire and the decisive cavalry charge by Kellerman at precisely the right moment exemplify how timely actions can overturn the entire course of a battle. Finally, adaptability remains a key trait for any commander. Napoleon's ability to rapidly redeploy his forces and seize the initiative when the opportunity arose exemplifies military flexibility at its finest. Conclusion: the enduring impact of Marengo. More than 2 centuries later, the Battle of Marengo continues to captivate historians, military strategists, and enthusiasts alike. It was a battle that encapsulated the volatility of the Napoleonic era, where fortunes shifted in a single afternoon, and where leadership could decisively alter the course of history. For Napoleon, Marengo was the validation of his military prowess and the stepping stone to greater power. For Europe, it was a harbinger of the tumultuous years that would follow as the Napoleonic Wars engulfed the continent. Marengo teaches us that in war, as in life, perseverance, boldness, and adaptability often separate the victors from the vanquished. Join the journey through history. If you found this deep dive into the Battle of Marengo fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more captivating explorations of the battles and leaders that shaped our world. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What aspect of Napoleon's leadership impressed you the most? And if you want to explore more military history, check out our other videos on the great battles of antiquity and beyond. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep seeking knowledge and understanding the stories that forged our past.